A train emerges into the daylight from the Snow Hill Tunnel at Birmingham's Moore Street station. It's a path that's travelled by scores of trains every day.
Chiltern Railway's trains, or at stations.
The Snow Hill Tunnel is 635 yards or 580 metres long. It has a gradient of 1 in 45, making it probably one of the steepest rail tunnels in the UK. It opened in 1852 and allows trains under a high point in Birmingham to reach the once grand Great Western Railway station at Snow Hill. But what most people don't know is that this tunnel used to be a lot shorter. The first section from here at Moore Street, which wasn't actually built at the time, was constructed using the cut and cover method, where you dig a trench and then you put a roof on top. Take a closer look and you can still see the Victorian brickwork that supports it. Like most infrastructure of the era, it was built to last. But here's the strange thing, part of the tunnel used to be an open cutting. Take a look at this map and you can clearly see the location of the cutting halfway between Moore Street and Snow Hill. The tunnel runs directly underneath Cars Lane and then passes under Corporation Street at right angles. And soon after that is where it would have opened up into a cutting. So here in Temple Row is where the tunnel ended and the cutting started, but in 1873 the railway company was forced to meet the requirements of the Birmingham Extension Act and had to put some brick piers in and then a roof, and on top of that roof later went the Great Western Arcade. An early shopping centre, it was actually built right on top of the cutting, making the tunnel roughly the length it is today. The arcade was built more than 20 years after the Snow Hill Tunnel opened to trains, and it's now a Grade 2 listed building. As you can see from this map, it stretches from Temple Row all the way to nearby Colmore Row, directly on top of the tunnel. Interestingly, the original roof of the arcade was destroyed by German bombs during the Second World War. But in 1984 the arcade roof was fully restored and finished with a traditional chiming clock with 5 bells, which sadly doesn't seem to be working now. And here's an interesting tale, not sure if it's true or not, but the fact is here there used to be a branch of the Bank of England before it was knocked down and turned into a NatWest Bank, but the story goes that the Snow Hill Tunnel had a special siding and an entrance into the bank vaults that used to allow Bank of England staff to transfer things like high-value banknotes and gold bullion to be carried by train. The tunnel continues a few hundred yards further under the Snow Hill Plaza, which is where the old Snow Hill station stood before it was knocked down. At the Snow Hill end of the tunnel it's much wider as the tracks fan out to reach what was in its heyday a 12-platform station. This is what it looked like in those days, but the station was a victim of the Beeching Acts in the 1960s and through services from London ended. Although the station carried on receiving trains from Wolverhampton, even they ceased in 1972. It meant that the Snow Hill Tunnel was closed for almost 20 years. It reopened to traffic in 1987 when the new Snow Hill station was built, as well as these through platforms at Moore Street station. This picture from the inside of the tunnel was taken just weeks before it opened. It's thought that some of the tracks that were laid here came from a disused tunnel in Yorkshire. But before the tunnel reopened, Birmingham residents were offered a rare chance to walk through it from Moore Street to Snow Hill. This is a picture from that day. Each person was given a certificate. Have you got one? The Snow Hill Tunnel is busier than ever with Chiltern Railways services and West Midlands Railways both passing through it, but in the future it could get even busier when this Platform 4 at Snow Hill Station reopens. It was used by the Midland Metro for around 15 years, but 5 years ago trams were diverted away from the station where the line eventually reached the city centre. The former terminus of the Metro still lies abandoned and overgrown. Soon, as part of the Midlands Rail Hub scheme, Platform 4 will be reopened again. Well, that's it for this film. Who'd have thought the Snow Hill Tunnel had such a fascinating history? Thanks again for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like and share.